Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Welcome back to your brothers and sisters. Going forward in our class, today's class is dedicated to all those innocents' life which are being taken away unjustly in different parts of the world. Whether it is a Muslim or non-Muslims, may Allah protect every individual soul which is free of crime, and we do dua and we pray to the Creator that He protects them, whether it is in Palestine, in Gaza, West Bank, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, India, Pakistan, wherever there is an innocent life, may Allah protect it. Inshallah, going forward. So today's class we're going to learn more about verbs. So there are two types of verbs basically. So one, what we call it as a transitive verb, and the other is called as intransitive verb. So what is transitive? Transitive verb means the verb has a more journey to do. It's like transit, where you go, sit, and you have to go forward again. The same thing is a transitive, which means the fail has to have more journey. Whereas intransitive means the journey of the verb stops. So what does it mean really? If I give example of intransitive first, so intransitive means where the verb describes the complete sense. For example, if I say here, I laughed, I cried, the book fell, the sun set. So here it makes complete, so you don't need any more information to add to this, so it makes sense. Whereas intransitive verb, what you need, for example, if I say here, I baked, or I rode, or I spoke, or I stitched, here we need some more information. If you say I baked, so say baked what? For example, say I baked some cookies. If you say I rode, so what did you rode? So I rode the bicycle. If you say I spoke, you spoke to whom? So I spoke to teacher. So I stitched, so it is I stitched the quilt. So here we need the verb, the action has to be taken place on some other object. So that is where we need, it makes a complete sense. So the action on its own doesn't make complete sense. So what we need for a transitive verb is we need an object to complete the sentence. So what do we call this object in Arabic? It's called as maf'ulun bihi. It's called maf'ulun bihi, the thing on which the action has been taken. So if we give example of what we call this intransitive and transitive in Arabic. Intransitive is called fa'lul lazim. Fa'lul lazim is it ends, the meaning ends there. Whereas the transitive is called fa'lul muta'addi, which means you need to add more to make sense. It's called fa'lul muta'addi. If you give some examples of intransitive, so we like dhahaba, he went, makes complete sense, that's it. Raja'a, he returned. Jalasa, he sat. So you can't add anything more to these verbs. For example, mata, he died. So these are like intransitive words, so you don't need any more information to make a complete sense. Whereas, for example, if you say akala, say he ate, so then you have to ask he ate what? For example, say at-tufaha. So if you say kataba, he wrote, so you say what did he write? So you say ar-risalata. So if you say example shariba, he drank, so again you can ask he drank what? Say al-qahwata. And you say daraba, he hit, so he hit whom? So you say Muhammadan. So if you see here, what do we see? The object is always ending with the fatha. Say akalat tufaha, kataba risalata, sharibal qahwata, daraba Muhammadan. So which means that maf'ulun bihi is always mansoob. Maf'ulun bihi is always mansoob. It will have a fatha at the end of the noun, whether it is definite or indefinite. So when do we know that fa'al is fa'al muta'addi? So maf'ulun bihi, it always comes in fa'al muta'addi. It doesn't come in fa'al lazim. because there the journey ends, you don't need anything more. So when do we know the fail is muta'addi? So when we can ask two questions when an action is mentioned, like what and whom, then we know that action, that fail, that verb is a transitive, or it's a fa'al muta'addi. For example, if we say Sa'ala Hamidun, so Hamid asked. So we say Hamid asked what? So we can say as-su'ala. See, Hamid asked the question. So if you say Sa'ala Hamidun, again is Hamid asked. So we say asked whom? Then we can bring an object. Say Hamid asked the teacher, al-mudarris. So this mansoob, a fatha ending noun, that tells that's a maf'ulun bihi, and the fa'il will always have a sign of dhamma. It's very important to recognize the sign of dhamma and fatha to know what is fa'il and what is maf'ulun bihi. So going to the normal sequence, I mean, we've learned in the last class that the normal sequence of a jumlatul fa'iliyah is a fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. For example, we say daraba Hamidun Bilalan. So we have fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi, Bilalan, upon which the action is taken. But when we translate, so what do we bring? We bring fa'il first, then we have fa'il, then maf'ulun bihi. So this is a translation sequence. So whenever we are reading and we're trying to translate in our own language, we always look for the fa'il, then you translate the fa'il, and then you translate the maf'ulun bihi. So here we'll say Hamid hit Bilal. That's how we translate. So coming to another relationship today, we're going to learn a new relationship between the fa'al and damirun muttasilun. So if we remind ourselves that there are two types of damir munfasilun, detached pronouns, which are always marfu, which is huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. These are detached and they are marfu form. So, and we know damir muttasil is either mansoob or majroor form. So just to see how the damir muttasil is written, so if we just see here, huwa is written in this fashion, huma, hum, hiya is ha, huma is huma, hunna will remain hunna, and from anta it becomes ka, and antuma will become kuma, antum will become kum, anti will be ki, antuma is kuma, antunna is kunna, ana is ya mutakallim, nahnu is na. So these are all damir muttasil. So how do we use this damir muttasil in a jumlatul fa'iliyah? So if we know that a pronoun attaches itself to different situations. So if we just listen to this and remind ourselves.
Okay. When the pronoun joins a noun, you get mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. When the pronoun joins preposition, we get jarun wa majrurun. When the pronoun joins a zarf, we get zarf wa mudaf ilayhi. Now this is what.
So this is what we've learned before. But inshallah today, so it gives me another relationship between fa'al, and when the pronoun joins a fa'al, so what do we get? We get maf'ulun bihi. So damir muttasil, when it joins a fa'al, so what we get is damir muttasil, that becomes a maf'ulun bihi. Let's do some example. So if you take this example, sa'ala means he asked. So if you want to say I asked, so sa'altu. So sa'al is the fa'al, tu is the fa'il. So it is a part of a mutaharrik pronoun. So if you have a damir muttasil, so if you want to say sa'altuhu, I asked him. So how do we write? We'll say sa'altuhu. So who is attached to the fa'il. So sa'altuhuma, sa'altuhum, I asked them. Sa'altuha, I asked her. Sa'altuhuma, I asked them both. Sa'altuhunna, I asked them all women. Sa'altuka, I asked you. Sa'altukuma, I asked you both. Sa'altukum, I asked you all. Sa'altuki, I asked you feminine. Sa'altukuma, Sa'altukunna, I asked you all women. So how do we say ana? So we know ana has ya mutakallim. So we know if it is qalamun, it gives my pen will be qalami. So if it is a verb, sa'altu, what will happen? Sa'alti. Is this how we do? So I'll say no, that is not the way we do it, because if it is sa'alti, so where's the fa'il? Fa'il is sa'al, and ti means anti, but what we want is tu. This I is tu, ana, but here it becomes anti, so that means the verb is ruined. So we don't want this ya to come and give kasra. So what do we do? So we know the ya has the habit that whenever ya comes, then the dhamma turns into a kasra, but we don't want to have this. We want to separate this ya from tu, so the tu remains tu. So what do? We bring noon. So what we do is we separate the ya and we bring the noon, and we tell ya to give kasra to the noon, and so that the fa'il and fa'il are remain, and it makes a proper sense. If it is sa'alti, then it is confusion whether it is anti or ana. But if you here sa'altuni means I asked myself. So this noon is called noon of protection. It's going to protect the fa'il from the ya giving it kasra. So this noon is called as noonul wiqaya. Noonul wiqayati is mudaf ilayhi, noon of protection. And if it is nahnu, na, it will be normal, because here it doesn't change the dhamma, sa'altu na. So let's take an example from the Quran so we understand a little bit better. For example, if we say so Saad, verse number 76. So we say here, Qala ana khayrun, when Allah Ta'ala says to Iblis to do sujood, then he doesn't do the sajda, and what does he say? Qala, he said, ana khayrun minhu, I am better than him. Khalaqtani min nari wa khalaqtahu min teen. So if we just analyze the verbs in this ayah, see, khalaqtani. So khalaq means the fa'al, and ta means anta. So it is about talking, the Iblis is telling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this ta represents Allah azza wa jal, that you created, and who created what? So you say noonul wiqaya and ya mutakallim me. So this ni is me. So you, how do we translate? Fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. So you created me min nari, from fire. So if you see here, this noon is noonul wiqaya, and we got khalaqtahu here. So who doesn't have any change on the verb vowel sign. So here we have khalaq is fa'il, fa'al, ta is fa'il, and who is maf'ulun bihi. So how do we translate? That you created him min teen, so from the clay. So we know that the damir muttasil is attached to the fa'il when it is present in the verb. So we know here that among 14 pronouns, there are 12 positions where the fa'il is mawjood, where it is attached to the verb. However, in huwa and hiya forms, the fa'il is mustatir, or it can be mawjood. If it is mustatir, no problem, because the maf'ulun bihi will attach to the verb. But what about if the fa'il is mawjood? So where will this maf'ulun bihi gets attached itself? So if I give an example here, say daraba hamidun bilalan. So we got here fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. So instead of maf'ulun bihi, if you want to use damir muttasil, so we want to attach pronoun, we want to use attached pronoun. So where do we attach it? Do we attach to fa'il or do we attach to fa'il? So we attach to fa'il. So it will be darabahu hamidun. So what's the sequence here now? We got fa'il, maf'ulun bihi and fa'il. But when we translate, how we translate? We translate as fa'il, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi. So it will be Hamid hid him. So we'll take another example. Sa'al at-talibu al-mudarrisa. See, who asked? The student asked the teacher. So instead of the teacher, we want to use the pronoun who. So where do we attach? So we say Sa'alahu talibu. So how do we translate this? The student asked him. So this is the sequence. So if we just take a final example from the Quran to understand this. So it's from Surah Al-Baqarah. Say, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي أَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. So here we are just going to analyze the verb and the fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul bih. So iza we're just going to translate. We're not done this, we'll do it later. So iza means when. So sa'alaka. So where's the fa'al? Sa'ala. So he asked. So what is this ka? Damir muttasil, maf'ulun bihi, mansubun, means you, and we're looking for the fa'il. So where's the fa'il? So we know here ibadi is actually ibadu plus ya mutakallim is mudaf ilayhi. So it becomes ibadi. So my slave. So how do we translate? When my slave ask you. So it is a fa'il, fa'il, and maf'ulun bihi. So with this concept, inshallah, we will be able to understand more in the Quran. And what we're going to do, we're going to do a lesson in the next class, and we're going to understand more and practice more, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.